This video isn't designed to convince you of anything. It's designed to help you determine whether the AI income operator path aligns with who you are and how you prefer to work. Not everyone is suited for this approach, and that's not a judgment. It's a recognition that different people thrive with different methods. By the end of this video, you'll have clarity about whether this framework fits your temperament, your resources, and your goals to make money online. And if it doesn't, that's valuable information too. Let's start with an important distinction: readiness versus desire. Desire is wanting something to be true. Readiness is being prepared to do what's required to make it true. Many people desire additional income streams. Fewer people are ready to think differently about how income is actually created. Many people are curious about AI and automation. Fewer people are ready to invest the time and mental energy required to implement systems properly. Many people want leverage and freedom. Fewer people are ready to accept the responsibility and decision making that comes with operating at that level. Interest alone is not enough. Enthusiasm alone is not enough. Even capability alone is not enough. Readiness is a function of these three things: mindset, resources, and expectations. Mindset means you're willing to think in terms of systems rather than tactics, long-term positioning rather than short-term wins, and orchestration rather than execution. Resources means you have the time, attention, and financial capacity to implement properly without desperation or unrealistic timelines. Expectation means you understand that this is about building sustainable leverage, not generating quick cash or replacing your current income overnight. Let me ask you some questions. Answer them honestly, to yourself. There's no right or wrong answer, only clarity about fit. First, when you think about building income, are you more interested in doing something once and having it work repeatedly, or doing something that generates immediate results? If you need to see results within the first 30 days to stay motivated, this approach probably isn't for you. If you're comfortable building something properly over 3, 6, 12 months to have it work for years, that's a better fit. Second, when you encounter a business problem, is your first instinct to work harder or to think differently? If your default response to challenges is to increase effort, activity, or hours worked, you'll struggle with this approach. If your default response is to step back and consider whether there's a structural solution, that's more aligned. Third, if you're more comfortable with predictable, systematic progress, or you want dramatic, unpredictable breakthroughs, look, this path is designed for steady, compounding results. If you need the big excitement of big wins and dramatic changes to stay engaged, you'll find this approach boring. Fourth, when you think about AI, do you see it as a way to avoid work or as a way to do better work? If you're looking for AI to replace your thinking, decision-making, or relationship building, you'll be disappointed. If you see AI as a way to handle routine cognitive tasks so you can focus on higher value activities, that's the right perspective. Fifth, are you more motivated by proving something to others or by building something for yourself? This approach doesn't generate the kind of visible, dramatic results that impress people overnight. So if your external validation is important to your motivation, you might prefer a more visible path. Six, when you commit to something, do you typically follow through regardless of how you feel on a given day? This requires consistency over intensity. If you need to feel motivated to take action, or you tend to abandon projects when the initial excitement wears off, this probably isn't a good fit. Let me be explicit about who this path is for and who it's not for. This path is for people who have demonstrated the ability to build and maintain systems in other areas of their life that are comfortable making decisions without constant external input or validation. They prefer sustainable, predictable progress over dramatic, unpredictable results. Have the financial stability to invest in building something properly without desperation, and are willing to take responsibility for outcomes rather than looking for someone to blame when things don't work immediately. So this path is not for people who need cash to solve immediate financial problems. Prefer high energy, high activity approaches to building income. Want something else to do the thinking and decision making for them. Are looking for a side hustle that requires minimal time or attention. Need constant motivation, accountability, or external pressure to follow through. If you're in the second category, that's not a character flaw, it's just self awareness. There are other approaches that might be better suited to your temperament and situation. Choosing not to pursue this path because it doesn't fit who you are is a sign of intelligence, not failure. If you are suited for this approach, it's important to understand what you're stepping into. Because this isn't just a side hustle. It's not a passive income Ponzi scheme either. It's not a way to make money without thinking or working with a simple click of a button. This is an operating role. You become responsible for outcomes. You make decisions about positioning, messaging, and strategy. You'll orchestrate systems rather than executing every task within those systems. AI becomes your assistant, not your replacement. It handles routine cognitive work so you can focus on judgment, relationship building, and strategic decisions. The work is different from what most people do, but it's still work. It's thinking work, decision-making work, and relationship work, rather than just execution work. If that sounds appealing, if you'd rather be responsible for outcomes than activities, then you might be ready to operate at a higher level to make even more money than you've ever imagined. Let me address some situations where this approach definitely won't work, though. If you're looking for quick cash to solve an immediate financial problem, this isn't the right solution. This is about building sustainable systems, generating a personal brand, not emergency income. If you prefer to stay busy and active rather than slowing down to think strategically, you'll find this approach frustrating. It requires patience and reflection more than energy and activity. But you will be energized and you will enjoy activities. If you need constant external motivation, accountability, or pressure to follow through on commitments, this won't work. The systems require consistent implementation and self-motivation, regardless of how you feel on any given day. If you're hoping AI will eliminate the need for thinking, decision-making, or relationship building, you'll be disappointed. You're going to want to love talking to people. You're going to want to love waking up and getting to it. And you're going to want to love knowing that you can think for yourself. AI just handles routine tasks, not strategic work. So none of these disqualifications reflect poorly on you as a person. They're simply indicators that a different approach might be more aligned with your temperament and situation. If you listen to this entire video and you're thinking, this truly sounds like exactly how I prefer to work to increase my income, then it might be worth having a deeper conversation. I offer exploratory calls where we can look at your specific situation and determine whether this approach to increase your income makes sense for you. These aren't sales calls, they're fit assessments. The goal is clarity, not persuasion. Not moving forward is perfectly valid outcome. If you're interested in that conversation, there's a link in the description. If you're not, that's equally valid. Either way, you now have clarity about what this path requires and whether it aligns with who you are and your goal to make 5, 10, 15, 20K a month online.